nobody could have predicted FTX would have gone bankrupt. And again, I'm just thankful that it just didn't feel right, which is why I did not move Bitcoin over to it. So anyway, some very large number is getting returned of customer funds. But again, the problem is it's getting returned in US dollars, not in Bitcoin, which means the people who are getting it back are missing out on somewhere between 500% and 600% gains. So in my case, I'll get $1,700 back, but had it remained in Bitcoin, it would have been $12,000. So I'm going to miss out on about $10,000 for the little mistake by just having a little bit on FTX that I was planning to spend with the FTX debit card. Okay, so what can we learn from this? What I should have done is something that did not exist, which is rather than diversifying across centralized exchanges, whether it was Coinbase, Gemini, and ultimately FTX, I should have instead moved my Bitcoin to self-custody in the form of Bitkey. Now, the problem was Bitkey did not exist back then. It was invented, it was announced in 2023 and released in 2024, earlier this year. I believe March of this year, they released the Bitkey device. So prior to that, if you wanted to move your Bitcoin to cold storage or, self-custody, whatever you want to call it, you had to use something like a ledger device or a Trezor device. And those are way more complicated to get set up. They're not like super hard, but they're just not elegant. They are not elegant to get set up. So, you get the device and then you get a 12 or a 24 word seed phrase, and then you have to write the seed phrase on a piece of paper, and then you have to stamp it in a plate of metal in case, your house burns down. And then if you lose it, you lose all your Bitcoin. And then if somebody else gets a hold of that seed phrase, they get all your Bitcoin. It just, I did not feel good about it myself. And I also, certainly, I have never recommended a Trezor or a ledger device to other people. But at the time, back in 2022, that was all there was. Like, if you were going to do cold storage, self-custody of your Bitcoin, just to eliminate the risks of having it on Coinbase or Gemini or FTX or anywhere else, that was your options. Like, you just did not have this beautiful, amazing, easy to use, failure resistant, failure proof, hacker proof option called Bitkey. Bitkey solved all of the problems. So what should I have done back then? There wasn't a good option. I mean, in retrospect, I should have jumped through the hoops and figured out Ledger and Trezor, but that's not a viable path for most people. And the reason I didn't want to do it was all the reasons of the complexity that I didn't do it. So what I should have done is take it into cold storage, but there was not a good option to do that I felt good about. Thankfully, you don't have that problem. So you have the option for $99 right now of buying a Bitkey device on bitkey.world, bitkey.world, WORLD. And with Bitkey, you are not dependent on the trustworthiness of Coinbase or of Gemini or of FTX or of anybody.